Okay, we're back. Welcome to another episode and another question that I'm answering that came directly from one of my clients. And in this episode, we're going to be discussing the question, why is my attention always split? Why is it when I'm at work, I'm thinking about my family or other projects? And why is it when I'm with my family or doing other projects, I'm thinking about my core work? Well, this is a common question that comes up quite a lot. And I even have a term for it. I actually called the shit zone. It's when you're in one place, but you're focusing on something else, and your focus is not where you are. It's not with you in that moment, and that makes you feel like shit. Hence the slightly vulgar term of shit zone. But this isn't necessarily your fault. There's a lot of contributing factors that pull a lot of my clients into the shit zone. But one of the major factors is it's an open loop problem. Now, open loops are unfinished tasks, projects, unclear goals, mental and emotional, and even physical things in the world that are slowing you down. Because when your brain is overloaded with a lot of unfinished tasks and unresolved emotions, you end up in the shit zone. You end up feeling like you've got a lot going on, like your CPU is full, or you've got 100 windows open on your laptop and you're just slow. And that's what happens when you have all these open loops. And that's the key contributing factor to you entering into the shit zone and always feeling split. And no closure with these open loops and this constant mental noise pulling you in every direction really slows you down. And as I said, it's not necessarily your fault because a lot of the modern world is set up to pull your attention. A lot of shiny objects out there, like literally every piece of technology, every social media platform, they're all trying to get you to focus on them. They're all trying to pull you away. They're all trying to get you to spend more time focused on them. And this isn't really helpful for us when we're trying to do deep work, when we're trying to spend time with our family. And it's not really about improving your productivity. It's not really about bringing in lots of structure, while structure is helpful. It's more about alignment. It's more about actually regulating those emotions and removing the inner resistance that's stopping you from focusing in on what's important right now. And we're going to come back to that inner resistance and some helpful tips at the end of this episode. I'm just going to talk about how I help my clients breathe into that inner alignment. So you don't need more hacks. You don't need more optimization strategies. What you do need, first of all, is to get clear on your priorities. Like what's the three most important things in your life and business? What is the structure of your day? How much time do you want to spend with your family? How do you want to feel mentally, emotionally, and physically around your family? If your work and personal time aren't defined, distractions will fill the gap. And we're not talking about creating a calendar that is jam-packed from morning to noon to night. That is silly, because I have a saying for that as well. A fool calendar is a fool's calendar. What we're talking about here is we're talking about just getting really specifically clear on a couple of key big rocks each day and getting specifically clear on some standards that you want to adhere to. Like you want to be with your family. You want to do at least 2 to 4 hours of deep work every morning. When you start thinking about your business and your life like that, all of a sudden it becomes pretty simple. Because if you do those 2 hours of deep work in the morning, and then at nighttime when you're with your family, you're not going to feel shit, because you can say to yourself, yeah, I got my work done. I did that work this morning, so I can focus on my family right now. And this is all you really need to focus on. It might sound super simple, but yeah, it is difficult. And we'll get into that when I talk about the resistance busting process and the alignment process in a second here. But I want to ask the second question, or I want to answer the second question. Why does the shit zone feel comfortable? Well, because chaos feels safer than choosing. It's the illusion of success. When we think we're doing well, we have all these options on the table. We think we can start new projects. We think we can do more than what we can. And again, society and entrepreneurship and just general expectations from the outside world and the way that people portray themselves online, it makes it look like people are doing a lot more than they are, that people are doing everything. And I can tell you right now, no successful entrepreneur is doing everything well. They're just not. They've got a team of people around them. And if you haven't got a team of people around you and you're on your own as a solopreneur, or you're working just with another partner, or you kind of feel like you're dealing with a lot of things individually, you've got to let yourself feel a little bit more grace and support yourself a bit more mentally and emotionally, because you're doing your best. You really are doing your best, especially if you are in that solopreneurship world. And chaos can feel good for a solopreneur because it makes you feel like you're staying busy. You're in the thick of it. It's almost like a badge of honor that you wear. Like, I'm a solopreneur and I'm doing everything. I get to wear all the hats. But eventually, that pride turns into a fall, and you get burnt out and you get frustrated, and you start questioning yourself. Am I a good business owner? Am I a good family member? Am I a good parent? Am I a good partner? Business-wise and with your wife or husband. And this is the path that we don't want to go down. We don't want to be in that shit zone. We don't want to take on everything ourselves, because open loops, they love to thrive in that environment. They love to thrive in a chaotic mind. So the plan here, as we get towards the end of this episode and helping you actually close these loops and not be in the shit zone, is drawing a line under how you're going to show up each day and starting to close a lot of these mental and emotional open loops. So let's talk about drawing a line. First of all, in the lives of my clients, I help them get clear on 2 or 3 key things they want to do each day. So we usually start off with some type of hour to 3 hours worth of deep work each day, which is easy to do if you calendar it out, block it out. We usually get into going for a no phone walk sometime in the afternoon. And then also we have a no phone hour with family member, or hour at rest at nighttime, where we're strategically putting the phone away, because there is never a notification and email that is that urgent unless it's from a family member in distress. Then it is urgent. But anything business-wise can wait. 100% it can wait. So you just set up your day with these 3 standards that you're going to meet. And then you focus on just completing those 3 standards. And then on the second thing you want to do is start closing open loops. And this is a pretty straightforward exercise. Just write out everything that's on your mind. And these things typically aren't on your to-do list, but they could be mental, emotional, physical things. They could be the fact your car hasn't been washed in months. It could be the fact you got a box in some room in your house you haven't tidied. Your garden might not be cut. Your pool might not be cleaned. You might not have got your hair cut recently. Whatever it is, these are like things that are on your mind that you haven't done. And what I usually recommend to my clients, if they want to get out of the shit zone, they have to have a close open loop week where they really focus on closing 2 or 3 loops a day for a 7-day period, whether that's with their business or in their life. And every day is about closing a lot of these long-term loops that have been open for weeks, months, or even years. And some of those can be bad relationships that you're closing down, toxic relationships. It could be letting go of somebody out of your life. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to go meet that person or phone them up and have a tough conversation. One thing I actually get a lot of my clients to focus on is writing like a letter saying goodbye to that person and thanking them. It could be a family member, it could be an ex, it could be a friend that's really just pissed you off recently and you don't really want to have that conversation with them, you just want to ignore them. Just write a letter. Tell them how much how much they hurt you. Tell them how much mentally and emotionally you don't want to spend time with them anymore. And then don't do anything with that letter. Just put it in a drawer or throw it in the garbage, or just get it out in paper. It's very cathartic. It's very good for you emotionally to close loops like that, especially the more challenging emotional loops with people in your life. And then finally, what I get my clients to do is the resistance busting sort of future alignment. I get them to do a little bit of box breathing, where you breathe in for 5 to 8 seconds, hold for 5 to 8 seconds, and then breathe out for 5 to 8 seconds. Pretty straightforward box breathing. But what we're doing while we're doing that box breathing is we're thinking about what we're focusing on right now. We're asking ourselves, okay, I'm doing my 2 hours of deep work right now, so I want to focus on that. And imagine a version of you that is just flowing through those 2 hours. As you're breathing, imagine that ultimate version of you, that version of you that is getting that work done. Do your box breathing for 3, 5, maybe even 8 or 9 rounds until you actually really feel that energy, then get back into work. And that's called realignment. And that works when you're with your family. You can quickly go to the bathroom, sit in the toilet, do a bit of box breathing, come back out, and then spend half an hour or an hour with your family, fully engaged and with them. This is just a sort of a meditation or realignment practice that is brilliant for getting yourself out of the shit zone, getting yourself into the now, and really focusing on the task that you're doing. So that's it. If you want to get out of the shit zone, if you want to escape this attention splitting world that you're in, create some big standards, 2 or 3 throughout your day that you're going to commit to. You're going to spend an hour with your family without a phone. You're going to go for a no phone walk to collect your thoughts in the afternoon, or you're going to do an hour to 2 hours, even 3 hours worth of deep work each day without your phone around you. Commit to those and start doing them. Work up to the 3 hours by starting with 30 minutes or an hour. Don't just jump from 0 to 100. That's difficult. Maybe we'll talk about that in another video, because that is a question that a client has had before. Why do I start my habits and can never seem to let the change implement? That's because you're going from 0 to 100. You're not actually building up to it. But that's for a different time. Back into this, select your pillars, select what you want to focus on, and then use the alignment practice with the box breathing to tap into that future version of you, or that ultimate version of you. Breathe into that, box breathe until you feel it, and then go and focus on the thing that you're focusing on. And that is how you will stop your attention splitting life. That is how you will get out of this shit zone. Thanks very much for watching this video. Thanks very much for watching all the way through this part. I tried something different in this one. You might notice this watching through this. This is purely one take. All errors and stumbles I've just done in one take. I'm trying something a bit different with this episode. If you're watched some of my more recent episodes, let me know what you thought of this one. Trying a different style. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate you. And we'll be back in the next episode with another question from a real business owner that I've helped one-on-one at some point in the last 3 to 4 years. And I will continue dropping these videos for the rest of 2025, answering one question per episode. Hopefully, we'll see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.